The mining colony of Aridon 9 lay on the edge of known space. Dust storms rolled across its barren surface, and jagged rock formations cut deep shadows in the weak sunlight. The humans there were few, hard-working, and worn by years of isolation. They mined rare minerals that the galaxy's richest civilizations needed, but they lived quietly, hidden in the shadows of a vast universe that mostly ignored them. But today, the quiet was broken. A deep hum rumbled through the sky, growing louder, shaking the ground beneath the colony. The humans stopped their work and looked up. At first, it was just a speck in the sky, then a shadow, then a fleet of alien warships. Massive, black vessels with sharp angles and glowing red engines appeared above Aridon 9, blotting out the sun. The sight made even the most experienced miners freeze. They are here," whispered a young engineer, his voice trembling. From the lead warship, a loud voice echoed through the colony's comm systems. It was cold, harsh, and mocking. "Humans of Aridon 9, the alien commander spoke. We see your pitiful little planet. Your weapons are weak, your ships are slow, your bodies, laughable. You cannot fight us." Laughter crackled across the transmission. The alien's mocking tone cut into every heart, making even the bravest soldier hesitate. The colony's commander, Colonel Janek Reavers, stood at the control center, his hands gripping the edge of the console. His face was calm, but inside, a storm raged. He had seen this day coming, maybe not this soon, but he had prepared his people as best he could. He studied the alien fleet carefully, noting the formation of the ships, the pattern of their shields, and the alignment of their weapons. "Stay calm," he ordered. "Do not panic. Do not engage yet." Around him, humans scrambled. Engineers ran to the communication towers, trying to reach other colonies. Soldiers loaded what weapons they had and peeked nervously out the reinforced windows. The colony's scanners showed alien drones descending, scouting, and probing the defenses. The aliens fired a few warning shots, not enough to destroy, but enough to terrorize. Rocks exploded into dust, sending sharp debris flying across the colony. Dust choked the air. Some humans screamed. Others froze in shock. And yet, in the chaos, one small figure moved differently. Lieutenant Kira Solis, barely 5 feet tall, crouched behind a console, eyes fixed on the alien ships. Her hands moved quickly over her tablet, scanning their shields, looking for a weakness. She didn't flinch at the alien mockery. She didn't panic at the warnings. She studied. "That shield pattern," she murmured under her breath. "It repeats every 4.3 seconds. A timing window. If we can hit it." Colonel Reavers glanced at her, curiosity mixing with caution. He had noticed Kira's focus before. She was small, often overlooked, but she had a mind like a hawk. "What did you find, Lieutenant?" he asked. Before she could answer, the lead alien ship fired another shot, barely missing one of the colony's storage towers. The explosion sent a shockwave through the ground. Humans ducked, some cried, some froze. The alien voice roared again. "Humans. Weak. Pathetic. You will kneel or die." Kira's fingers flew over her tablet. She analyzed the shield fluctuations, the timings, the patterns. "Sir, if we fire at the exact moment the shield resets, we can pierce it. Just a few shots, enough to scare them. They think they are all-powerful, but they aren't perfect." Reavers's eyes narrowed. A plan was forming. They didn't have many weapons, certainly not enough to fight a full alien fleet. But Kira's observation gave them hope, a small chance. Even hope was dangerous in this situation, but it was better than fear. "Prepare the pulse cannons," Reavers ordered. "Follow her timing." Kira nodded and moved to the weapon station. She coordinated with the soldiers, explaining exactly when to fire. The humans moved fast, faster than anyone outside the colony would have expected. The aliens were confident, laughing as they hovered above, assuming the humans were weak and unprepared. Minutes passed. The humans waited. Every second stretched like an eternity. The aliens laughed, taunted, and fired more warning shots. Rocks, dust, and debris flew. Fires broke out across the colony. But the humans held their nerve. Then, just as Kira predicted, a pulse cannon fired. 1, 2, 3. The shots pierced through the timing window. A beam hit the alien ship's outer hull. A loud, unexpected explosion rocked the alien fleet. One ship's shield flickered and failed, its systems sparking. The aliens screamed over the comm, confusion and fury mixing in their voices. Impossible. How? Humans cannot. The humans cheered quietly. They didn't have a full victory yet, but they had proved one thing: humans were not as weak as the aliens thought. Colonel Reavers looked around at his colony. Sweat streaked their faces, dirt and dust covering them, but their eyes were wide with determination. "This is only the beginning," he said. "They mocked us. They thought we were weak. But we will show them. Humans are not to be underestimated." Kira looked up at the alien ships above. Small, clever, underestimated humans could still fight. And fight they would. She clenched her fists. They might have started the attack, but the humans would finish it. And when they did, the universe would remember Aridon 9. The aliens hovered above, still confident, still mocking. But for the first time, uncertainty crept into their minds. And in the quiet moments after the first strike, a small spark of rebellion lit among the humans, a spark that would grow into a fire capable of total war. The dust from the alien attack still hung in the air over Aridon 9. Fires burned across the mining colony, and the once bustling tunnels were now silent, save for alarms and the hurried steps of humans trying to organize defenses. The alien fleet still hovered above, massive shadows blotting out the sun, their red engines pulsing like blood in the sky. Colonel Janek Reavers moved quickly through the colony, checking on his soldiers. He saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. "We survived the first wave," he said. "Now we hit back, smartly. Not blindly. We fight to live." Kira Solis was already at the command station, studying the alien formations. Her eyes scanned the ships as she murmured numbers and timings to herself. The pulse cannon strikes from the previous encounter had shaken the aliens, but Reavers knew this was only a warning shot. If the humans wanted to survive, they had to act decisively. Outside, small groups of alien drones descended toward the colony. They moved like predators, fast and deadly, scanning for life. The humans had only a handful of weapons, but Kira had an idea. "We can't stop them all," she said. "But we can trick them. Lure them into the canyon, where our pulse cannons have a clear line. One mistake from them and we can take out several drones at once." Reavers nodded. "Do it. Everyone, follow her plan." The humans moved cautiously, dragging heavy equipment through narrow tunnels and rocky pathways. They set up traps and ambush points, using the terrain to their advantage. Every step was tense. One misstep could mean death. The aliens, confident as always, underestimated the humans' intelligence. "Pathetic creatures," the lead alien hissed over their comms. "They hide. They run. We will crush them." And then, the first trap was sprung. A squad of alien drones entered the canyon, scanning for movement. Suddenly, pulse cannons hidden behind rocks and debris fired at precisely the right moment. Explosions rocked the canyon as drones were shredded in seconds. The humans watched from above, hearts pounding, adrenaline surging. "Keep moving," Reavers shouted. "They won't expect the second strike." Another wave of drones arrived, this time larger, armored, and faster. The humans barely had enough time to retreat behind rocks and rubble. Kira's mind worked frantically. "Their shields are weaker on the bottom. Angle the shots. Use the canyon walls to reflect the beams. We can take out the lead ship if we hit perfectly." The humans fired again. The lead drone ship staggered, sparks flying from its damaged hull. The alien voices screeched over the comm, "Impossible. Humans cannot do this. Stop them." But the humans did not stop. They moved like shadows, striking, retreating, striking again. Every attack was precise. Every movement was calculated. Still, not everything went smoothly. One group of soldiers was caught off guard by an alien drone hiding behind a rock. They fired blindly, trying to protect themselves, but two were hit. The colony's medic rushed to them, stabilizing the wounded while explosions echoed nearby. The humans realized that even with clever tactics, The aliens were ruthless. Kira's eyes flicked to the sky, to the massive alien warships above. She realized the drones were just scouts. The real danger was still out there. She shivered, but there was no fear in her voice when she reported to Reavers. They'll come down in full force soon. But they are learning we are not easy prey. They won't expect our next move. Reavers nodded grimly. Then we'll give them a lesson they'll never forget. Every time they think they've won, we hit back. Make them pay for underestimating us. The humans prepared their defenses for the incoming alien fleet. They repaired the damaged pulse cannons, reinforced the tunnels, and set up decoys. Even the miners, who had never held a weapon before, were now ready to fight. Each human understood the stakes. They had survived once, but the next wave could be deadly. And then, it happened. The alien fleet fired a series of energy blasts at the colony, massive beams of red light cutting through the sky. Buildings collapsed, sending clouds of dust and sparks into the air. Humans ducked behind cover, trying to return fire. Kira's pulse cannons targeted the alien shield's timing, striking at the exact moment of weakness. Sparks flew as alien ships staggered, their shields failing in bursts. For a moment, the humans held their ground. They were small in number, but clever. Every shot counted. Every movement mattered. The aliens, despite their confidence, began to realize something terrifying. The humans were not as weak as they thought. "Do not underestimate them," hissed the lead alien, its voice tight with tension. "They are clever. Too clever. Prepare for full assault." The humans, battered but unbroken, watched the skies. They knew the next battle would be worse. The aliens had begun to learn, and learning meant adapting, and adapting meant they would fight harder. Colonel Reavers looked at Kira. "You did well today. But this is only the first strike. They think they are strong, but we are just beginning." Kira nodded. Her small figure was tense, alert, but she smiled faintly. "Let them think they've won," she said. "The galaxy has no idea what humans can do when pushed to the edge." Above, the alien fleet hung like a dark storm, waiting. Below, the humans repaired, reloaded, and prepared. Both sides knew the war had only just begun. The first strike was over, but the real battle was coming. And for the first time, humans felt something that alien ships had never seen: courage born of survival. The dust of battle had barely settled over Aridon 9, but the colony was far from safe. The alien fleet still hovered above, massive and menacing, but for the first time, a seed of doubt had entered their minds. The humans had survived. They had fought back. And now, some of them were searching for something much more dangerous than a battlefield. They were searching for secrets. In the heart of the colony, beneath layers of rock and mining tunnels, lay the archives. Ancient records, old data drives, and artifacts from long-forgotten human expeditions were stored there. Most of the colony had forgotten about them, focusing only on survival. But Kira Solis believed that understanding the past could save the future. She walked quickly down the dimly lit corridor, her footsteps echoing. A small group of engineers and soldiers followed, carrying portable scanners and weapons. The lights flickered, casting shadows that danced across the walls. Every sound, the hum of machinery, the creak of metal, felt amplified. It was as if the tunnels themselves were holding their breath. "Are we sure this is safe?" whispered one of the miners, a young man named Talon. His hands shook slightly as he held his scanner. Kira did not answer immediately. She focused on the flickering lights above. "Safe doesn't exist anymore," she said finally. "If we survive only by reacting, we'll never win. We need an advantage. And the archives might have it." They reached a massive door at the end of the tunnel, sealed with old locks and warning symbols. Kira typed in a code, one she had memorized from the colony's founding records. The door hissed and groaned, sliding open to reveal the hidden room. Inside were shelves of ancient data drives, holographic projectors, and strange devices humans no longer understood. Dust coated everything, evidence of centuries of neglect. Kira's eyes shone with determination. "Start scanning," she ordered. The team spread out, connecting scanners to data drives and activating the holographic projectors. Images of alien ships, strange blueprints, and old human battle reports floated in the air. The humans leaned in, studying every detail. And then, a scientist gasped. This isn't just mining records. These are alien strategies, old battle plans. They're centuries old. Kira's heart raced. She had suspected there might be something useful in the archives, but the reality was far greater than she imagined. "Show me," she said. The scientist projected an alien fleet formation from 100 years ago. The patterns were clear, predictable, overconfident, relying on brute force rather than strategy. Every weakness the aliens now displayed had been documented long ago. Humans had the knowledge, they just needed the skill to use it. But knowledge brought its own dangers. As the team studied the data, an alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed across the walls. A saboteur, a traitor hiding among them, had triggered a silent alert. "Someone's trying to steal the data," shouted Talon, dropping his scanner. Kira grabbed a weapon and scanned the room. Shadows moved near the exit. A figure darted, trying to escape with a small data drive. "Stop them," she shouted. The group rushed forward. The saboteur was fast, but Kira anticipated the route, cutting him off in the narrow corridor. The man froze when he saw her, fear flashing in his eyes. "Why?" she demanded. "Why risk everything?" He sneered. "You humans will never survive. The aliens will crush you. Better to get their secrets than watch your little colony die." Kira shook her head. "No. We will survive because we know how to fight. And no one will betray us here." She disarmed him, securing the stolen drive. The team breathed heavily, tension high. But there was no time to rest. The alien fleet might notice the humans were accessing sensitive information. Every second counted. Returning to the archives, Kira studied the stolen data drive herself. It contained communications between alien commanders, showing their current weaknesses, weak points in shields, predictable patrol routes, and internal rivalries. The humans now had more than hope, they had an advantage. Colonel Reavers entered, his face grim but proud. "You've done well," he said. "This changes everything. We aren't just survivors anymore. We can fight smart, hit them where it hurts, and turn their arrogance against them." Kira nodded. "But they'll adapt quickly. We have to move fast. And we have to be careful. One wrong step and the aliens will destroy us before we use any of this." As night fell over Aridon 9, the humans worked in silence. Engineers repaired damaged pulse cannons, soldiers drilled new maneuvers, and Kira coordinated strategies based on the ancient alien plans. The tension in the colony was electric, every heartbeat a reminder that failure meant annihilation. Above them, the alien fleet lingered, unaware of the secrets now in human hands. They had underestimated humans before, but soon, they would realize that the small, weak creatures they mocked were learning, growing, and planning something far more dangerous than simple resistance. And in the quiet of the archives, a spark of hope burned brighter than ever. Knowledge, cunning, and courage, humans had them all. And the galaxy was about to witness what happened when the underestimated struck back. The alien fleet had retreated slightly, but their shadow still lingered above Aridon 9. The humans knew it was only a matter of time before the next attack. The colony's buildings bore scars from previous strikes, craters in the ground, shattered walls, and smoke curling into the sky, but inside, a new energy hummed. Survival had become more than instinct. It had become a plan. Colonel Janek Reavers walked through the underground training facility, a space carved from rock and reinforced with steel. The miners-turned-soldiers moved through obstacle courses, fired pulse cannons, and practiced combat maneuvers. Every human had a role, and every role was crucial. Again, Reavers shouted, watching a squad of humans navigate a simulated alien assault. Precision. Timing. Don't just react, predict. At the center of it all was Lieutenant Kira Solis. She had been studying the alien strategies for hours, translating every weakness into drills and exercises. The humans followed her instructions with surprising skill, their small frames darting through mazes, launching attacks on holographic drones, and learning to anticipate every possible threat. A group of new recruits struggled with heavy weapons, their arms shaking. One of them, a young miner named Ryn, dropped his pulse rifle. Sweat streaked his dirt-covered face. I can't lift it, he panted. Kira stepped forward. Then let it guide you. Don't fight the weapon, use it. Timing and angles matter more than strength. Watch me. She demonstrated, firing with perfect precision, the beam hitting the holographic target dead center. Now you try. Ryn's eyes widened. He gripped the weapon differently this time, aimed, and fired. The beam struck the target. He stumbled back in shock and then smiled, realizing he could do it. Good, Kira said, nodding. Humans are not about brute strength. We are about ingenuity, speed, and precision. Remember that. Elsewhere in the training facility, engineers modified captured alien tech. Small drones were dismantled and reassembled as surveillance units. Pulse cannons were enhanced, calibrated to fire at precise intervals when alien shields weakened. The humans worked tirelessly, often skipping meals, because they understood the stakes. One mistake could mean total annihilation. Colonel Reavers approached Kira, watching her lead a tactical drill. They'll be back soon, he said. Sooner than we expect. Are we ready? Kira didn't look up. Not yet, she replied. But we will be. They think humans are weak, disorganized, and easy prey. They're wrong. Every drill, every plan, every trick we learn now is a step toward total war. When they come again, they won't recognize us. Hours passed, then days. The humans trained relentlessly. At night, they reviewed alien schematics, studying every ship, every weapon, every possible strategy. The atmosphere was tense but focused. The colony, once a quiet mining outpost, had transformed into a war machine. And then came the test. Kira activated the holographic simulation of the alien fleet, displaying every ship and drone in precise formation. This is them, she said, her finger tracing a line through the projection. They are confident. They are arrogant. They believe they are unstoppable. Let's prove them wrong. The humans moved through the simulation with precision. Every move was calculated, every attack coordinated. The holographic drones exploded, the simulated pulse cannons fired perfectly timed shots, and every obstacle was overcome. Kira's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Colonel Reavers clapped her on the shoulder. They won't expect this, he said. When the real battle comes, they will see humans in a new light. Not weak. Not powerless. Dangerous. But the humans were not just training for attack. They practiced defense too. The alien fleet could strike anywhere, anytime. Every tunnel, every canyon, every building was reinforced. Booby traps were set. Hidden passages were mapped. The humans learned to move silently, to coordinate without words, and to strike with precision. One night, Kira stood on the colony's observation platform, looking at the distant stars where the alien fleet lingered. The red glows of their engines were faint but ominous. They don't know what's coming, she said softly. They mocked us, laughed at us, called us weak. Soon, they will learn that underestimating humans is a fatal mistake. Arwen joined her, holding a small modified pulse cannon. Do you think we can really win? He asked, voice low. Kira looked at him, her eyes steady. We don't just fight to survive anymore, she said. We fight to show them the price of their arrogance. And yes, we can win. They will regret ever thinking humans were weak. In the following days, the colony reached peak readiness. Humans of all sizes, shapes, and backgrounds moved with precision, working together as one. Engineers, soldiers, and miners formed a single force, united by the same goal, survival and eventual victory. Above them, the alien fleet remained, watching, but unaware of the storm brewing beneath their very senses. The humans were no longer easy prey. They had learned. They had adapted. And they were ready to strike back smarter, faster, and deadlier than anyone could imagine. The first wave of aliens had mocked humans. The humans had survived. But now, after endless training, strategy, and preparation, they were no longer the same. They were a force of cunning and precision, a force the galaxy would soon learn to fear. And somewhere deep in the colony, Kira whispered to herself, let them come. We are ready. And when we strike, it will be total war. The sky above Aridon 9 darkened as the alien fleet returned. This time, their confidence had vanished. The previous encounters had shown them that humans were clever, unpredictable, and dangerous. But they still underestimated the full extent of the humans' preparation. Colonel Janek Reavers stood on the observation platform, eyes narrowed. "They're coming," he said. "Everyone, to your stations. Today, we show them what humans can do." Lieutenant Kira Solis moved through the command center, coordinating teams with calm precision. Pulse cannons were charged, drones deployed, and hidden traps armed. Every soldier knew their role. Every engineer monitored alien movements. This was the moment they had trained for. The first wave of alien drones descended, faster and larger than before. They were armed with energy blades and missile launchers, scanning for any sign of weakness. But the humans were ready. "Fire on my mark," Kira whispered. Her finger hovered over the control panel. The pulse cannons fired in precise intervals, hitting the drones at the exact moment their shields reset. Explosions lit the canyon like fireworks. The alien drones faltered, some falling into the ravines below. The aliens screeched over the comm impossible. "How do they know?" Kira didn't respond. She focused on the next wave, anticipating their movements. Small groups of humans darted between cover, firing modified pulse rifles and setting traps. Rocks exploded, creating dust clouds that hid their movements. The aliens had never faced an enemy that used terrain and timing with such deadly efficiency. Colonel Reavers watched the battle unfold, his face a mixture of pride and tension. "Keep the pressure," he shouted. "Do not let them regroup." Above the canyon, alien warships moved into formation. Their energy cannons glowed, ready to crush the colony. But the humans had predicted this. Kira activated a series of holographic decoys, tricking the alien targeting systems. The first shots struck empty spaces, while hidden humans fired from the shadows. Sparks and fire erupted across the ship's hulls. One alien warship staggered, smoke rising from its engines. The fleet commander's voice roared over the comms. "Attack! Destroy the humans! They are stronger than we imagined." The humans did not hesitate. Using captured alien tech, small attack drones launched from the colony's hidden bays. They weaved between the larger ships, striking at weak points. The aliens' confidence faltered further. Their formation broke, ships colliding and firing blindly. In the midst of chaos, Kira spotted an opportunity. "Colonel, the lead ship's bottom shield is weakening. We can hit it with everything we have." Reavers nodded. "All units, focus fire, now." Pulse cannons, drones, and human fighters converged on the alien flagship. Energy beams hit the precise moment the shield dropped. Sparks flew. Hull plates buckled. The ship shuddered violently, then began to fall toward the planet's surface, trailing fire. The humans cheered quietly, but there was no time for celebration. The remaining alien ships adjusted their tactics, now cautious and wary. The humans realized the battle was far from over. Meanwhile, small skirmishes erupted across the colony. Alien boarding parties tried to infiltrate buildings, but humans were ready. Traps, ambushes, and clever maneuvers turned the tide. Even miners turned soldiers fought with precision, their fear replaced by determination. Ryn, the young miner who had struggled with the pulse rifle weeks ago, now moved like a seasoned fighter. He ducked behind debris, fired at an advancing drone, and rolled to safety. Every human contributed. Every strike counted. Kira observed from the command center, eyes scanning every movement. She smiled faintly, pride mixing with tension. They thought humans were weak. They were wrong. And they will learn the hard way. The alien fleet attempted a retreat, but Kira had anticipated it. Hidden pulse cannons and drones blocked their path. The humans forced the aliens to fight on the colony's terms, in terrain they controlled. Every step of the battle was calculated, every move a trap. Hours passed. Dust and smoke filled the sky. Explosions shook the ground. The humans were exhausted, but they kept fighting. Slowly, the alien forces began to falter. Their numbers dwindled, their confidence shattered. They had underestimated humans at their peril. Colonel Reavers raised his voice over the comms. "This is the moment, soldiers. Strike with everything you have. Show them the strength of Aridon 9. With a final coordinated attack, the remaining alien ships were damaged severely. Some fled into space, limping and broken. Others were destroyed entirely. The humans had won the first major victory. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans not as weak, small creatures to be ignored, but as a force capable of ingenuity, strategy, and courage. The small colony on the edge of space had survived against impossible odds. Kira watched the horizon, smoke curling into the sky. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "They thought humans were weak. They were wrong. But the war is far from over. And when it comes to total war, they won't know what hit them." Colonel Reavers placed a hand on her shoulder. "You led them well, Lieutenant. Today, humans proved they can fight. Tomorrow, we teach them a lesson they'll never forget." The survivors looked at each other, exhausted but proud. The alien fleet had underestimated them, and it had cost them dearly. Aridon 9 would recover. The humans would grow stronger. And the galaxy would soon learn that no one should ever underestimate humanity. The alien fleet had regrouped, but this time they approached with caution. Word had spread across the stars, humans were not weak. Small, underestimated, clever humans had survived attacks, destroyed drones, and damaged their ships. The aliens were angry, but fear had crept into their arrogance. Colonel Janek Reavers stood on the observation platform, overlooking Aridon 9. The colony had transformed. Trenches, pulse cannons, hidden turrets, and drones covered every inch of the landscape. Engineers worked tirelessly, modifying alien technology, while soldiers trained relentlessly. Every human knew that today could determine the fate of their world, or even the galaxy. "Prepare for full engagement," Reavers ordered. His voice was steady, but his eyes burned with determination. "They underestimated us once. They will not underestimate us again." Lieutenant Kira Solis moved through the command center like a shadow, coordinating every human unit. "We know their weaknesses," she said. "Every shield gap, every blind spot, every predictable pattern. We strike smart, fast, and together. They won't escape this time." The alien fleet appeared above the horizon, dark and menacing. Hundreds of ships, larger and more heavily armed than before, glowed with red energy. They had learned some lessons from previous encounters, but Kira had already anticipated their adaptations. The humans were ready. "Hold your positions," she whispered. "Wait for the right moment." Then the signal was given. Pulse cannons fired simultaneously, hitting weak points in alien shields. Beams of energy tore through armor, and explosions rippled across the fleet. The aliens faltered, unprepared for such precise timing. Human drones darted between alien warships, striking at engines and weapons systems. The aliens tried to counterattack, but every movement was predicted. Kira's strategy worked perfectly. The humans controlled the battlefield, forcing the alien ships into chaos. Colonel Reavers led a squadron of small human fighters. They weaved through the battlefield, dodging blasts, and striking vulnerable points. Every strike was calculated. Every move mattered. The humans had become a single, unstoppable force. One massive alien warship, the flagship of the fleet, moved toward the colony, trying to crush human defenses. Its weapons glowed like molten fire. Kira's eyes tracked its movements. "All units, focus fire. Hit the bottom shield, now." The pulse cannons fired in perfect synchronization. Drones attacked from multiple angles. Sparks flew from the ship's hull as energy beams struck simultaneously. The alien flagship shuddered violently, smoke rising, engines failing. It wobbled in the sky, a giant brought low. The remaining alien ships hesitated. Their formations broke completely. Panic spread through their ranks. Humans, once thought weak, now controlled the fight. Colonel Reavers addressed all units over the comms. "Push forward. Strike with everything. Show them humanity is not to be underestimated." Every human soldier, engineer, and pilot gave their all. Mines detonated beneath advancing alien ships. Drones disabled weapons systems. Pulse cannons fired at critical points. The aliens were falling apart, one ship at a time. Kira monitored the battlefield, her mind moving faster than any human could see. She issued orders calmly, guiding humans like a general from the stars themselves. Divide their fleet. Cut off their retreat. Target the remaining command ship. The aliens attempted to flee, but the humans had predicted this too. Hidden turrets and drone ambushes blocked every escape route. The aliens realized their arrogance had cost them dearly. One by one, their ships were destroyed, forced to retreat, or disabled entirely. Above the battlefield, Kira and Reavers watched the chaos. Humans moved like shadows and fire, unstoppable, precise, and brave. The alien commanders' voices were frantic, shrieking over the comms, but no one answered. They were defeated. And then came the final strike. The humans focused every available weapon on the largest alien warship remaining. Energy beams, missiles, and drones converged, hitting every weak point simultaneously. The ship shuddered, sparks and smoke rising, and finally exploded in a massive fireball that lit the sky. Silence followed. The alien fleet, broken and demoralized, retreated into the void. The humans had won. Aridon 9 was safe for now. The colony erupted in cheers. Soldiers embraced each other, engineers clapped, and even miners turned fighters laughed in relief. Humans had achieved what many believed impossible. They had taken on a superior alien force and won, not through sheer strength, but through intelligence, strategy, and unity. Kira stood on the observation platform, looking at the stars. The smoke of battle still rose, but the horizon was clear. They thought humans were weak, she whispered. They were wrong. And now, the galaxy knows. Colonel Reavers joined her, placing a hand on her shoulder. This victory is only the beginning, he said. We've shown what humans can do. The galaxy will respect us now, or fear us. And we'll be ready for whatever comes next. Below them, the survivors began rebuilding, preparing for the future. The colony had been tested by fire, and it had emerged stronger, smarter, and united. Humans were no longer just a small, weak species. They were a force to be reckoned with. And somewhere in the distant reaches of space, the remnants of the alien fleet would tell a single story. Humans were clever, dangerous, and unstoppable when pushed to the edge. The war had been won, but the legend had just begun. Aridon 9 had survived. Humanity had triumphed. And the universe would never forget that those who underestimated humans paid the ultimate price.